Greetings. Hi, I am Billy, and taking a quick coffee break to make this quick video. And I want to um, find a new place to live and where I can be potentially an on site gardener and landscaper, or find a place to where I can park a camper and uh, we could work out a deal where I pay some kind of rent on your property, but I can also be a gardener and landscaper on your property the way I am doing now. My name is not John. I bought this jacket at a yard sale, by the way. I just said I'm Billy, but then I got John on my jacket, so I'm going to end up scratching that out. But it's a nice coat. I got it at a yard sale. So, um, anyways, so just wanted to let you know that. And so yeah, where I currently stay, the lady that owns the property, I stay in the pool house, and I do the gardening and the upkeep of the landscape on the property. I've been doing landscaping for at least 2006, and even before that, I did gardening as a kid. I used to do gardening as a kid, and so, but I really got into it over the years, paired with my landscaping. Uh, so the okay, so the lady that on the property where I reside, her dog has got a couple months to live. It's a really old dog, and she says she expects the dog to live up until December. And once the dog dies, she will give me a month notice, and then I'll have to move out of the property. So that's the arrangement I have currently, where I do the landscaping and the gardening on the property without going into the specific details of the arrangement. Um, and so that's the situation, and it's a large property also. So there's tons of work to do there, and so I'm looking for a similar situation with maybe, or someone who would not be opposed to letting me uh, park a camper on their property, and I can pay some kind of rent, and uh, so that's a situation I'm looking into. Or a lot of people have mobile homes on their property, and I'm not opposed to moving into a mobile home as well. And we can make some kind of agreement, uh, rent, or that I maintain the property, or both, where I maintain the property and I also um, pay some rent, just depending on whatever we agree to. So I'm just looking for a similar situation. I am willing to move, uh, and currently the lady that on the property that I rent from currently, uh, occasionally she will pay me to do things for her on top of everything else. And she will also give me money for materials for things that are needed in the, like, for example, if there's a bed that needs mulch, she'll give me the money to go get the mulch for that area. That's just one example. Or if she needs to put fertilizer onto the um, ground, onto the lawn, then she'll give me the money to go get the fertilizer. So uh, so I'm just looking for a place uh, where we can make some kind of deal or arrangement for some time. uh, I'm also not opposed to uh, finding an inexpensive mobile home it depends on the circumstance. In a trailer park, I'm okay with that. In fact, when I do want to get a camper to remodel intentionally, so I don't want someone to be concerned if the camper I get is not like a newer camper, and I would like to get like a regular camper, right? I mean, I'm sorry, I would like to get an old camper to remodel and refinish up, okay? So I don't want anyone to be concerned like, oh, do you have this, do you have that, like I deliberately want to remodel a camper, okay? So I just want to let you know that. But basically, if I can find like an arrangement like that, then and make it a win-win. I do a really good job at landscaping. I have tons of references. I have really good quality references, and I have before and after pictures of the landscaping work I've done. You can save yourself thousands of dollars by agreeing to an arrangement with me. And so you might be wondering, is this a short-term arrangement or a long-term arrangement? It just depends. Also, I do not work for the city of Rock Hill. Again, this is a jacket that I bought at a yard sale. Okay. And so I didn't think about that popping up on here. But like, yeah, so basically that's what I'm looking for. And so you might ask, well, is this something that you want permanently or temporary? Well, it just depends on the circumstance. If I find like a good property to rent or make some kind of agreement, it just depends on how it works out. I'm okay for short term. I'm okay for a long term place. So one of my customers, she once lived on a property that I did the landscaping maintenance on, where she had her house, but off to the side, they had a large garage for their RV camper, and it was a garage / workshop area, and the office and a wood shop. It was all in one building. And off to the side of that building, they had an apartment, a small 2-bedroom apartment attached to their garage. And they had a couple living there, and I believe they did not charge them rent, as long as they only charged them to they let them live there in exchange for doing work around the property. So so if there's somebody that even has like a place where they have like an extra apartment, I'm okay with doing that too. Like, and I will pay rent, or make some kind of work agreement as well, or a combination. So now I currently, again, stay in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and I'm willing to move. Now, I do have a small landscaping business, so I'm willing to move and start another business and generate a new clientele. Okay, I'm willing to do that, depending on the circumstance, if it works out that way. So if somebody up in North Carolina has a property, like, I don't know, for example, near Winston-Salem or Greensboro or something like that, I would have to leave my current customers behind and let them know that I'm moving, and I'm okay with moving. In other words, I am mostly familiar with Zone 8A. Okay, so that's where my skill lies at. Anyways, just shoot me an email, BillyAlley2023 at hotmail.com. Thanks.